A lot of people are getting their stimulus checks right now, so I thought it'd be an interesting thought experiment to go through how I would spend that $1,200 on camera equipment. So kind of my parameters for this are that I have no equipment at all. I am started from scratch. And I want to build a set of equipment that I would use personally and that I would be comfortable recommending to someone else, but more than recommending to someone else that I would want to use and that I would be comfortable using as a professional photographer. I get asked pretty often, what's a good camera setup if I have $500? What's a good camera setup if I have $1,000? What's a good camera setup for $2,000? So this video isn't that video, but maybe this can also provide a little bit of insight if you're having those questions or you want to upgrade your camera or anything like that, you want to buy your first camera. Maybe this can just give you an idea of where my head's at in looking for a new camera and what features and accessories are important to me. Before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that I do have links to everything mentioned in this video in the description. If it's an Amazon link, it is an affiliate link, so I get a little bit of a kickback if you use that link and end up purchasing the product. Alright, so jumping into it, we're going to start with the camera body, and I'm going to go the used route with this to be able to get something that is full frame, because that is very important to me when I am shopping for a camera and something I'd be comfortable using professionally. So I found a used Sony a7 II on Amazon for $656.74, and that's the camera body that we'll be basing this project around. I know that there's a lot of fear around shopping for used cameras and used camera accessories, but I am comfortable with it, and I think that the risk outweighs the reward. With a mirrorless camera, there's less wear and tear on it, so the shutter count doesn't matter as much. And of course, if I buy it from Amazon, it's backed by Amazon's 30-day guarantee, and I feel fairly safe with buying a used camera under these circumstances. I am only including one lens in this set of gear just because I know how versatile it is. That is a 50mm. The Sony 50mm 1.8 is $226, and I just know that I can use this for a ton of projects, from portrait work, commercial work, and just everything I use this lens for. And I know that if I can only have one lens, that's the lens that I want. Next up is the SD card, and with camera accessories, there's some that you can shop off brands and others that you want to shop brand names. And SD cards, you definitely want to shop brand names just because your actual images are being written to there, and there's a lot of potential if the SD card fails for catastrophic problems to occur. So I would only shop brand names with SD cards. I'd get the Sony M series SDXC UHS2, I think it's called. And the 128 gigabyte, that is plenty of space that I never run out of space. That's the SD card I'm actually recording on right now, and that's the SD card that I use for all of my shoots, and it's just a really great SD card. I've been using it for a couple of years now and never had a problem with it. Every photographer needs a tripod, and I love the tripod that I have, so I buy the same one. The Leica lightweight 65-inch carbon fiber travel tripod, again, I think that's what it's called, would be my tripod of choice. I've been using it for years. It works great. It's the perfect balance for me of being small and portable, but still being stable enough that I never have to worry about it falling over or getting bumped or broken. It's just a robust but light setup, and I feel like I've taken it everywhere with me, and I've just never had a problem with it. The biggest drawback of this Sony a7 II is the battery life. Anybody that I've talked to that owns one of these cameras just tells me that they just go through batteries like no other camera that I've ever seen. So I'd spend a little bit to get some extra batteries. Amazon has some off-brand batteries for $32.99 from a company called Power Extra. It's the only one you get 4 instead of 2 for around this price point. I know that the batteries aren't going to be as good as the Sony batteries, but these are primarily, at least for me, used as backup batteries, so I always keep my Sony batteries charged first, and then when those die, I have these extra batteries standing by that I can use while the Sony batteries are back on the charger, and then I rotate them back in. So I'm never planning to rely on these, but I just don't want to be left without any batteries. If you have a camera, you need a way to carry it. So that brings us to the camera bag section. Now, I am not a camera bag expert, and all camera bags have their benefits and drawbacks, but one thing that I really love is having side access. So that's why I chose the Amazon Basic Sling Bag. This comes in at $26.46, so it's a pretty cheap price for a camera bag. I haven't used it personally, but in my experience, a lot of those cheaper bags, they just get the job done. You try not to drop the bag or, actually have to protect your camera, but they have padding in there and it's going to do a decent job protecting your camera when it comes down to it. The last thing that I would buy with this stimulus check is not actually a piece of photography equipment at all, but it is the editing software. So it's the photography plan of Adobe. So that is Lightroom and Photoshop. Personally, I'm a believer that actually taking the photo is only half of photography and the other half comes in editing it, manipulating it to look the way that you envisioned in your head. I know that that's kind of a controversial idea and some people differ from that, but just for me, that's how I think about it. So I think it's extremely important to have a way to edit those pictures professionally. It's a full year membership, so it would get me through the first year of editing photos and continuing to be able to do what I love. Well, I came in just over budget at $1,201.60, so $1.60 over what the stimulus check would allow, but I didn't feel like trying to skimp and cut anything out. I really did just price all these things out with what I felt was essential. There were a couple of other things I would have liked to add if I had the extra budget, like a flash, softbox, light stands, all that kind of thing, but we came in just over budget and I'm happy with where we're left. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear your opinion. Is there anything that you would have added or taken away or pushed something different in, maybe a different camera body? I would love to know what your opinion is, so let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time with another video.